Welcome! Today we're making delicious homemade chicken nuggets from scratch. These nuggets are crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, and packed with flavor. I'll guide you through every step, from prepping the chicken and forming the perfect nugget to frying them to golden perfection. You don't need to be a chef to master this recipe. Just a few simple ingredients and a little time, and you'll have a batch of crispy, juicy nuggets that everyone will love. Let's get started. Alright, let's get started with our homemade chicken nuggets. First, grab about 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts and chop them into 1-inch chunks. Now, in a bowl combine half a cup of breadcrumbs, a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan and 1 egg. For flavor, add 1 tablespoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, along with a teaspoon of paprika and half a teaspoon each of salt and pepper. If you like a little color and freshness, throw in some chopped parsley too. Give everything a good mix, and if the mixture feels too dry, just add a splash of milk or water to help it all bind together. Now, let's move on to the breading. You'll need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 beaten eggs, and about 1.5 cups of panko breadcrumbs. Season the breadcrumbs with a pinch of salt and pepper. And that's it. We're all set to form our nuggets. Let's start by preparing the chicken. You'll need 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, about 1 pound. Chop the chicken into small, bite-sized chunks, roughly 1 inch in size. You want them small enough to cook through quickly, but large enough to hold their shape. If you have a food processor, you can pulse the chicken for a finer texture, but be careful not to overprocess it into a paste. Now add your chicken to a large mixing bowl. Next, we're going to add our flavorings. Half a cup of breadcrumbs, which will give the chicken some texture. Also, add a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese for a bit of richness. Crack in 1 large egg to help bind everything together. Then we're going to season 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of paprika for that nice warm color. Finally, add half a teaspoon each of salt and pepper, and if you like, a tablespoon of fresh parsley for some freshness. Mix everything together until it's well combined. If the mixture seems a little too dry, add a tablespoon of milk or water to make it come together nicely. Once everything is mixed, you're ready to move on to the next step. Now, let's set up our breading station. This is where the magic happens. Grab 3 shallow bowls. In the first bowl, add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Season it lightly with salt and pepper. This is going to be our dry coating, so make sure it's well seasoned. In the second bowl, crack 2 large eggs and beat them lightly. This will help the breadcrumbs stick to the chicken. In the third bowl, pour in 1.5 cups of panko breadcrumbs. Panko is great for crispy nuggets, but you can use regular breadcrumbs if that's all you have. Season the breadcrumbs with a pinch of salt and pepper. This breading station is key for getting that perfect crispy coating on your nuggets. Keep everything organized so you can easily dip your chicken pieces into each bowl without making a mess. Alright, now it's time to form the nuggets. Take small portions of the chicken mixture, about 1 tablespoon or so, and roll it into small nugget shapes. You can make them round or oval, depending on how you like them. Just be sure they're all about the same size, so they cook evenly. Once you've got a nugget, it's time for breading. Start by rolling it in the flour, making sure it's fully coated. Shake off any excess flour before dipping it into the beaten eggs. Let the excess egg drip off, and then coat the nugget with the panko breadcrumbs. Press the breadcrumbs onto the nugget gently, ensuring they stick well. Repeat this process with the rest of the chicken mixture. Be sure to work quickly, but carefully to keep the coating intact. You'll want to have all your nuggets breaded and ready to fry before we move to the next step. Now that our nuggets are all breaded, it's time to heat the oil. Grab a large skillet and pour in about 1 to 2 inches of vegetable oil. You want the oil to be hot enough to fry the nuggets, but not so hot that they burn. Heat the oil over medium-high heat for about 5 minutes. To test the oil, drop in a small piece of breadcrumb. If it sizzles right away, the oil is ready for frying. If it doesn't sizzle or sinks to the bottom, the oil needs more time. If the oil is too hot, the outside of the nuggets will burn before the inside cooks, so make sure you find that sweet spot. Keep an eye on the temperature during the frying process to ensure the oil stays hot but not smoking. Let's start frying the nuggets. Working in batches, Carefully drop the breaded chicken nuggets into the hot oil. Don't overcrowd the pan because the nuggets need room to cook evenly. You want them to fry for about 3 to 4 minutes per side, or until they're golden brown and crispy. You can use tongs to gently flip the nuggets halfway through cooking. When they're done, the outside should be crispy and the inside should be fully cooked through. After frying, transfer the nuggets to a plate lined with paper towels to drain off any excess oil. If you're frying in batches, be sure to let the oil come back to temperature before adding more nuggets to the pan. Continue frying until all your nuggets are cooked. Now that your homemade chicken nuggets are done, it's time to serve. These nuggets are crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Pair them with your favorite dipping sauces, whether it's ketchup, honey mustard, barbecue sauce, or ranch. They'll be a hit. You can serve them with a side of fries, a simple salad, or some veggie sticks for a complete meal. Don't forget to enjoy them while they're hot. Homemade chicken nuggets are always a crowd pleaser, and with these steps, you'll have crispy, juicy nuggets every time. Serve them up and enjoy your delicious homemade treat. Lastly, here are a few tips to make sure your chicken nuggets turn out perfect. First, for extra crispy nuggets, you can double bread them. Dip the chicken in flour, then egg and breadcrumbs, and repeat the process for a thicker coating. If you want a healthier option, bake the nuggets instead of frying them. Just preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. Place the breaded nuggets on a parchment-lined baking sheet and bake for 15 to 20 minutes, flipping halfway through. When forming the nuggets, try to keep them all the same size for even cooking. And don't forget to keep an eye on the oil temperature while frying. If it's too hot, the outside will burn before the inside cooks. Too cold, and the nuggets will soak up too much oil. Make sure the oil stays around 350 degrees Fahrenheit for the crispiest results. Enjoy your crispy, juicy homemade chicken nuggets.